Captain Zixandra of the merchant vessel Stellar Wanderer had encountered many species during her decades of trading across the Outer Rim. She had bargained with the crystalline Vorthok, avoided the territorial disputes of the hegemony worlds, and even survived a rather unpleasant encounter with pirate Lord Kesivol's raiders. But never, in all her travels, had she encountered anything quite like the small pink creature floating unconscious in the escape pod she'd just hauled aboard. The pod's markings were unfamiliar angular symbols that didn't match any known galactic scripts. Her ship's translation matrix struggled with the text before finally offering Terra-class vessel Meridian. Emergency evacuation protocol active. Terra? Zixandra's crest feathers ruffled with curiosity. She had heard whispers of the planet called Earth, somewhere in the galaxy's backwater regions. A world populated by a species that had somehow achieved faster-than-light travel, despite being laughably primitive by galactic standards. Most civilized species considered them something of a curiosity bipedal mammals who had managed spaceflight while still resolving conflicts through physical violence. The creature inside the pod was undeniably one of these humans. Small by galactic standards, barely reaching Zixandra's mid-torso, with soft skin lacking any proper scales or carapace. Its breathing was steady but shallow, and preliminary medical scans showed extensive injuries consistent with a ship explosion. "Poor thing probably got caught in a pirate raid," Zixandra murmured to her ship's AI. "Set course for Nexus Station. The medical facilities there should be able to help." What she didn't know was that Dr. James Chen, the unconscious human in her medical bay, was not some random space traveler. He was Earth's foremost xenobiology expert, returning from a diplomatic mission to establish first contact protocols with the Centauri Alliance. His ship had indeed been attacked by pirates, but not the common raiders Zixandra assumed. The Meridian had been destroyed by the Scarix Dominion, a militant empire that viewed Earth's rapid expansion into galactic politics as a threat to their territorial ambitions. Dr. Chen's survival was not just a lucky rescue, it was a critical intelligence asset, carrying encrypted data about Earth's defensive capabilities and alliance negotiations. Zixandra spent 3 days nursing the human back to consciousness, fascinated by his species' resilience. When Dr. Chen finally awakened, his first words were not of gratitude, but of urgent warning. "You have to contact Earth immediately," he said, gripping her scaled arm with surprising strength. "The Scarix, they're planning something. I have data that Earth Command needs to see." "Earth?" Zixandra's feathers flattened in amusement. "Little human, your planet barely registers on galactic political charts. Whatever this Scarix threat is, I'm sure your people can handle it through proper diplomatic channels." Dr. Chen's expression grew grim. "You don't understand. Earth doesn't do diplomacy the way other species do. When they find out what happened to the Meridian, when they realize I'm missing." He paused, seemingly searching for the right words. "Captain, you need to get me home. Now." Zixandra was still chuckling at the human's apparent overestimation of his planet's importance when her ship's long-range communications array lit up with an incoming transmission. The signal was powerful enough to reach across 3 star systems, and it carried an encryption signature she'd never seen before. "Unknown vessel," the voice was crisp, authoritative, and spoke perfect galactic standard despite its alien accent. "This is Admiral Sarah Rodriguez of the Terran Space Force. Our sensors indicate you have recovered one of our people. Respond immediately." Zixandra's amusement died as her scanners detected the source of the transmission. A massive fleet had just dropped out of hyperspace. At the edge of the system, over 200 vessels of unknown configuration, bristling with weapon signatures that made her ship's defensive systems scream warnings. "How did they find us so quickly?" she whispered. Dr. Chen sighed. "Every Earth vessel carries quantum entanglement beacons. The moment my life signs were detected on your ship, they tracked the signature. Captain, you need to respond. Now. With trembling claws, Zixandra activated her communications array. This is Captain Zixandra of the independent trader Stellar Wanderer. I have rescued a human from an escape pod and am providing medical assistance. The response came within seconds. Captain Zixandra, you have our profound gratitude. Dr. Chen is a valued member of our scientific community. We are prepared to escort you to Earth for his safe return and to offer substantial compensation for your heroic actions. Escort? Zixandra noticed that the human fleet had moved into a perfect defensive formation around her ship. That's very generous, but I was simply planning to drop him off at the nearest. Captain, Admiral Rodriguez's voice carried an edge of steel. I'm afraid that's not possible. Dr. Chen was carrying classified information. Until we can verify his safety and debrief him properly, we must insist on providing protection. Dr. Chen placed a comforting hand on Zixandra's arm. They're not threatening you, Captain. They're protecting you. The moment you rescued me, you became a target of every enemy Earth has made in the last 5 years. And trust me, we've made quite a few. As if summoned by his words, Zixandra's sensors detected another fleet dropping out of hyperspace. Scarex's Dominion vessels, their distinctive triangular hulls, marking them as the elite conquest fleet. Their leader's transmission was broadcast openly, a declaration of intent. Human vessel, surrender the escaped prisoner and his rescuer. The Scarex's Dominion claims salvage rights to all survivors of the Meridian. Admiral Rodriguez's response was immediate and chilling. Scarex's vessels, you are ordered to withdraw immediately. Any hostile action against our friend Captain Zixandra will be considered an act of war against Earth. Your backward planet dares threaten the Dominion? The Scarex's commander snarled. We don't threaten, Admiral Rodriguez replied calmly. We promise. What followed was the shortest interstellar conflict in recorded galactic history. The Scarex's conquest fleet, confident in their superior numbers and battle experience, engaged the human fleet in what they expected to be a one-sided massacre. Instead, they encountered weapons technology that seemed to bend the laws of physics, kinetic projectiles that moved at significant percentages of light speed, energy shields that adapted in real time to incoming fire, and tactical coordination that suggested the humans fought as a single organism, rather than individual ships. Within 37 minutes, the entire Scarex's fleet was either destroyed or fleeing for Dominion space. Zixandra watched the battle from her bridge, her crest feathers flat with shock. I don't understand, she said. Your species is supposed to be primitive, new to galactic civilization. Dr. Chen smiled grimly. We are new. And yes, by galactic standards, our technology is primitive. But Captain, we've been fighting wars on our own planet for our entire recorded history. We've had thousands of years to perfect the art of violence. When we finally reached the stars, we didn't abandon that knowledge, we refined it. As the human fleet began its escort formation around the Stellar Wanderer, Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through once more. Captain Zixandra, on behalf of Earth and all humanity, we thank you for your compassion and courage. You saved one of our own, and we do not forget such kindness. From this day forward, you sail under Earth's protection. Any who would harm you will answer to us. Zixandra looked at the massive fleet surrounding her humble trader vessel, then at the small human who had somehow triggered this display of interstellar power. Dr. Chen, she said carefully, exactly how important are you to your people? That's the thing about humans, Dr. Chen replied, settling back into his chair as Earth's fleet began the journey home. To us, every life is important. Rescue one of us, and you've made friends with all of us. Threaten one of us. He gestured toward the view screen, showing the burning wreckage of Scarex's ships, and you've made enemies of all of us." As news of the incident spread across the galaxy, a new understanding began to emerge among the civilized worlds. Earth might be a young species, primitive by galactic standards, but they had brought something unprecedented to interstellar relations: the concept that individual lives had infinite value, and that friendship, once earned, was defended with absolute ferocity. Zixandra found herself the most famous trader in the galaxy, her rescue of Dr. Chen becoming the stuff of legend. More importantly, she discovered that Earth's promise of protection was no idle threat. Wherever she traveled, the mere mention of her name opened doors and ensured safe passage. She had rescued a human, and in return, she had gained the friendship of an entire species that treated friendship as a sacred trust worth going to war to defend.